Welcome to the first Monday night live chat of 2023. We are back, and tonight we are talking about your competition is better than you. Yeah, that was intense, huh, Jersey?
Man, this 2023 SteveO is just on fire.
Fire.
Comes in swinging. For anybody else, I think you're doing a great job. SteveO may hate you and say that you're not doing anything well, but
I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna push you this year to be the best you possibly can, to make all the money you possibly can. It's gonna be a great year. I feel it. I don't know why, but I feel it.
Well, what's up? First off, to Michael, who was first, of course. Window Guys, Glass Monkey, Victor. What's going on, man? Eugene, Katie, the WC, Nick Stafford, Jordan, Scott, Mandy's here, Henry's here, Name Brand, of course, is here. Yes. What's up to everybody? If you're here, say hi in the comments and tell me what you did. No. Tell me what time you went to sleep on New Year's Eve. That's what I'd like to know. Tell me in the comments.
What did you stay up till?
I stayed up till like 12:05 because I was ready for bed, but I had to wait up with my kids. And then like it happened and my daughter was like, that's it. And I'm like, yep, it's time for bed. She's like, okay.
New Year's is a pretty non-eventful like holiday where every single time I get done with Christmas, that's pretty much like the end of the holidays for me. And then New Year's is just kind of like it's a caveat on top of it just to like have something to go do. And that's it.
Yeah. It's like amateur hour. You like go hang out with people who don't drink, I guess, or something, and then they're just stupid.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Someone invited us to go out to like the bars. It's like, no, too old. It's done. It's over with. Not doing it anymore.
I'll go there on New Year's Day if you would like to go, but not New Year's Eve. Thank you.
Yeah. But we want to kind of talk about the topic and actually talk about what our topic is tonight, because the idea more is like, what are you doing in the wintertime as far as setting up your business for the spring, right? We're not really looking to the fall, but you could be looking that far ahead. But what are you doing now? Do you more kind of chill? Are you more, with your business kind of like you like it where it is? You know that you're going to have return customers. Maybe you're already booked up for the spring just due to repeat customers. But what are you doing if you're doing anything for marketing or anything like that? Comment in the comments as far as what you're doing.
Yeah. I think what's interesting is I had this like idea like 15 years ago. That's probably not 10 years ago, we'll say. Yeah. And one day I was like, man, like, would I hire myself or would I fire myself? Like as I am right this second. And there's certain times you can get into it and you're like, dude, I'm just coasting right now. Like, I'm just like lazy. I would not hire myself. And sometimes you're like, yes, I would hire 20 of me right now. And then some people lie and say that they're always like that, but I don't believe it.
No, I got into like a little rut between November and kind of like beginning of January, where I decided like back in July that I was going to like kind of cut off like a lot of window cleaning in November and kind of chill. And then I found that I was kind of like chilling too much. I was like, it's time to get back to like the normal, like Monday through Friday, make sure always doing something like every day to get ahead. But I definitely got into that like holiday, just like, I'm just not going to do much. And you just get bored and you start contemplating like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. Well, you know what it is like you work really, really hard, like a panic in the beginning. And then as things start to like really cruise and like the ball was rolling and all of a sudden you're like doing well, you're like, all right, well, I'm here. Yeah. And then like eventually you don't have to always push for like gold, but to make yourself stronger and better, I think as soon as you think that you're the best you'll ever be, that's it.
Yeah.
Like there's a peak of everybody's life.
Right. I always get thrown off by Katie, the window cleaner, because I always forget like he's in Florida. And Florida seasons are like right now is actually a pretty busy time for them, I believe. As far as I know, like winter time can be pretty busy, and always throws me off thinking like they kind of, I don't think chill, but during the summer it's not as busy as in other areas just due to how hot, how humid it gets. I would think that would be the reason why.
Yeah, totally. By the way, Damix from Germany. How's it going? From Germany.
Nice.
And TJ's here. So now it can finally start. TJ's here.
Oh, man. Let's see here. We have our first question. Carlos if you decide to slow it down for whatever reasons, what do you do to revamp customers or clients? I think in the idea that you want to kind of like slow it down is more you need to kind of like, you got to plan it out like ahead. Like if you really want to take a break, I wouldn't plan it around like, I wouldn't say you're eliminating customers, but you just got to plan it out in that, okay, I'm going to take this amount of time off. So I'm not going to schedule anything then. You can still schedule after and before, but I don't really look at it as, I guess, totally that you're going to be losing customers.
Yeah.
Like, how would you look at that?
Yeah. And what you're saying, I think that you're reprioritizing. Like some clients are some that you'll never get rid of for anything ever because they're just awesome. They're awesome to deal with. The price is right. But like our goal is to have everybody like that, Yeah. I saw too is if you decided to slow it down for whatever reasons, what do you do to revamp your customers, like clients? I feel like he's asking like, if you decide to like, okay, like I'm going too much, I'm slowing it down. How do you kind of redo that customer list and who do you let go? And I think a lot of that, like pricing yourself out or just explaining, I've had people are just like, hey, I just want to let you know, it's been so awesome servicing you, but I'm just not in the area anymore. Here's a list of some really awesome, and I'll do it in person. And it's a really awkward conversation, but people are like, oh, sweet. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah. Now, I guess my big question is, and I think maybe you get a lot of this too, like this time of year, is people that want to build route work. We talk a lot about route work on here, but this is a very good time in areas where it is slow to get route. Yeah, I'm pronouncing it just the way
times in a row.
So you all love it, even though it's pronounced root. Most of the time, you all can just have your thing, So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what really the problem is that to get busy now, you had to do stuff 2 months ago. Like, yeah. People when they get too, it's not like hunting. It's not like, oh, I'm hungry, I should go hunt. It's like, I should have done sales 2 months ago.
Right. Exactly. Let's see here. Oh, that was not a question. From Mist One. What's the best way to drum up business when things get slow? I had some cards made up and sticking them on people's mailboxes on the side. Is that a good idea? I would say no. I don't know, sticking cards on people's mailboxes. I would more think of doing a door hanger on their actual door, I guess, than that. Or every door direct mail, which we also talk about a lot. A little bit more expensive, of course, but that's really going to get a lot more people, I think.
You know what I hate, and I'll go to my grave hating, is like if you litter on my house. Like if you fill a baggie with gravel and then there's a business card and you throw that at me, like I want to throw it back through your windshield. Like clip flyers, I know that's a big thing. I know it'll piss everybody off, but clip flyers suck. Like if you're just littering, then you should just not litter, because I'm never going to hire you ever for littering in my driveway. But if you at least take the time to put it on my mailbox, put a door hanger on, something like that, it's not litter in my head. It's just advertising, and then I'll at least pay attention to it.
I used to have a company that all of our route work, they would, in a particular city, and this happened probably about once every 2 months, come around in the morning, and their card would just be on the ground, like by the front door. And then some would be in the door. And I never, ever understood like why you would just want to waste like a business card by just put it in the door, because it's so easy that like any employee could just see that, take it, and just like throw it away. Like what are the odds they're going to take that? Wow, look at this company that left us at our door. We should really hire them. Like, who are they? We need them. I just never liked it.
Advertising to route in general is like just ridiculous, because there's like so many gatekeepers and people that they're just like, no one's ever like, ooh, I should make sure that this junk mail makes it to the, like, it just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, no, especially these days with the younger kids, and don't get me started with all that crap.
Kids these days. Austin is still in the group, so
shoot, crap. And thank you, Jacob. I know I need a haircut. It will happen. It's just I don't know why. It's just been bad.
Did everybody else see the picture of SteveO, like the video where he was clean shaven?
There's more videos out there than just.
I didn't know you were missing a chin. I didn't know that, and then I saw that picture. And I was like, oh my gosh, he doesn't have a chin. That's why.
That happens. Hey, here's a question for you. Scott Ratliff asks, Is 500K liability insurance commonly enough for commercial work? Or do I need $1 million? What does he need? He needs
$1 million.
Yeah, you do need $1 million. Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know 500,000 was like a thing. So go with $1 million. It probably doesn't cost you that much extra. Like, good liability, you're talking about like under $100 a month for 100 or for $1 million liability.
Yeah. I mean, quotes I've seen are like right for $1 million, like around 70 or 80.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's nice. Here's a great one that you really like to do, Josh, is like a pitch. What would your cold call pitch be for property managers and whatnot?
You know what really is a cool thing is doing unsolicited bids. I really, really like unsolicited bids. That's like where you find a property you really like. You put the whole bid packet together. Like, the thing costs you $10 to put together. You send it in a big envelope, and they're like, what the heck is this? Like, you get such a response because they're like, I don't know if you sent this to the wrong person. You're like, no, I'm just really interested in being able to clean the glass on your and like, people will call you because they got this giant thing, and it gets you in to be able to call and say, hey, I'm just calling to see if you got that bid packet I sent in.
Just force it on them. Why not?
I just sent it to them. They need to know it anyway. It's not like anybody with like a big building is doing their own windows. You know that they're not. So you know they need your service, and I know I'm the best option for them. So why not give me a call?
There you go. I've never been one to like cold call pitch property managers. I've always just called like I think we talked about this last show, and that I always find like that phone number of whatever property management company there is. Like, usually it's in the entrance of buildings, or they'll have all the listings of like who's on the building, and then somewhere in there will tell you who the property manager is. And I've always just endlessly contacted them. Like, do you need a window cleaning company? But in many of the areas, I knew many of the companies that already worked for these property people. So it was kind of like, you just kind of got on their list. And if one company couldn't do it, they'd go to another company and then go to another company. And that was very common from what I found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
go ahead.
It takes more work, by the way, for commercial over route or residential. But if it takes more work, that means the others aren't doing the work. Like, exactly like the name of the thing. Like, the harder it is for you to get it, the harder it is somebody's going to take it because of $1.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. Victor Gruel, always here for the Monday Night Lives. I find it difficult.
Questions, by the way.
Always has great questions.
Yeah.
I find it difficult to drum up root work, Starbucks or the like. How have you guys obtained an account similar? Oh God, Starbucks are hard. Yeah. I've always been, anytime everyone gets to Starbucks, I've never gotten a Starbucks, except for like, I've done a few Starbucks where I'm cleaning the building above, and they're like, hey, the windows are all dirty. Can we pay you like $35 to clean all the windows outside only? I've done that quite a few times with Starbucks.
Yeah.
That's it. But I always felt like Starbucks and McDonald's were always the ones that I always try to get in my area, and I could never get the right person. Never. Yeah. I tried every single year to do it, and it just never achieved.
I've never seen any McDonald's in any area I've lived in get it done by an actual professional. It's always like the cook out there. I know people do McDonald's. I know it exists, but like, I've never seen it.
Yeah. So those can be hard, and I would only tell you the same thing, in that following up, trying just to get to like the right person and endlessly contacting them, maybe just have it on like a schedule that, like, you know, every 2 weeks or every month or something, you send them an email or call the manager's number that you have. Maybe that manager's left, you get the new manager's number. But literally, I think that I could only assume that would be the number one thing to probably get a bigger accounts like that, is just following up endlessly. And then, but I do think, like, do you think like the idea of just sending them a bid like you've done would ever work with somebody like that?
Not on route. No. Because route it's the easiest thing for people to get. Cause like when you go to a storefront, you can like hit a whole downtown area. So like they get the most competition. The most people who are just looking for beer money go there because they can hit 100 stores. So like they're so used to saying no that it is a little bit trickier. But when they realize you're real and this is a real job, that really differentiates you. But somebody like Starbucks is like a national, like you need a regional manager, and they're the ones who take care of it. If not, and it's corporate, and they're a little bit trickier to kind of get into. It's the only benefit to an NSP, I think.
Yeah. Real quickly to piggyback off of insurance, real quickly, Carlos asked, who are you all using for insurance? If you guys feel like it, put in the comments who you use for insurance. I just use State Farm, but I just did that because that was my person for a long time and I got a good rate through them. So that's what I've done. But I mean, you could always go through like a local broker too to see like how, like what's the best deal you could get to, like a local insurance broker. There's a lot of ways of doing it. It's not that complicated. It's really pretty simple. I think it's a big question you always get that people think is a hard thing to get, but it's not. It's really simple and easy.
You could literally walk in and like, I need a general liability policy. And they're like, okay, like it's simple.
Yep, exactly.
By the way, there's only 40 people watching right now. If you guys are watching and you really want to do SteveO and I a solid, share this somewhere that we haven't. Throw it on Reddit. Go to window cleaning in Reddit. Share it there. Share it on Facebook, Instagram. Just share it because why not? We want to get a lot of people here because it's an ego thing.
You know? Yeah. Makes us feel good. Let's see. We have a lot of questions tonight, so we're just rolling through them. Mandy asks, do a lot of construction residential and have contracts with a few builders, but I'm having a hard time getting stucco off the windows. What should I use, or what should I write out, or what should I write that out of the contract, or how should I write that out of the contract? I really botched that question, but you're basically just trying to figure out how to get stucco off or how to not remove it and write that out. Whew. Stucco. I don't feel like stucco has ever been that big of an issue.
It's probably because of the area you live in, though, too. Like stucco is very big in certain areas, especially like more southern east stuff. So
especially like Arizona, maybe California, it'd be more of that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but I feel like that'd be like paint.
Yeah, if you're not going to razor a window in general, if you're more scared to do it, then it's going to be really hard for them to hire you because they need that done. When you're handing keys, right? So when a property or a builder is giving the house the keys, basically, it all has to be perfect. They have to hand keys when it's perfect, and if there's mortar on the glass or stucco on the glass, it's not perfect. They're not going to be able to hand keys, and they just aren't going to allow that either. So now they're not using you. They're not going to not sign something. They're just going to hire somebody else. Yeah. So it's a tricky thing, but you don't have to do it either. You could literally walk. I've walked in a lot of construction cleans, and I'm happy to this day that I did. You'll never miss the dollar you didn't make.
Yeah. Construction cleans are so crazy in that it's like so many companies use razors on especially like commercial construction cleans and scratch so much glass. But you almost start to wonder like how much some of these buildings even care. I have cleaned so many large commercial buildings. I was talking to Mike Nichols about this the other day because he was had a building and it was just brand new and just scratches everywhere. But it makes you think sometimes like, do a lot of people actually care? Like, of course we care as window cleaners, but like how many people actually care about how scratch up that window is when they look out of it? Do they just care about the dirt that's on the window, or do they hardly ever even pay attention to that? I've just seen it be like, I remember we had a huge job that I know Jim still does to this day, and every single window was scratched, and never was it ever mentioned like that it was an issue. It was never an issue. It was never something they even wanted to go after. So it's just surprising in that we put such an emphasis on not scratching glass, and we don't want to ever, have that happen on a job. But then it's like, how much stuff do you see that's always messed up? And so little people care. Just me.
Well, the first time that they get it, they got this brand new thing. And they go, it's like having a brand new car versus a car after owning it for 2 years. After 2 years, you're like, man, I can't believe it just went through those bushes. Like, you don't care, like when you first get it, you're like, don't set that microfiber towel on you'll swirl the paint. And then after a while, you're like, this is just going to happen.
Right. But I don't know. It's just weird. But razor.
What I saw, like the grossest, like sad, like mouth dropping moment ever was I was on a job and we were bidding the construction clean, and these painters were there and they were painting and dripping on the glass, right? That they had gone through and dripped on the glass. The one guy was pulling all the plastic that they had, which was like, it was like edge plastic. So the center of the glass was open, right? Yeah. So after they had gone, they had drips in the paint on the glass. And this guy was going through with a rusted a paint scraper, like a paint scraper that he had for probably 10 years. I mean, the thing was like rusted, and he's scraping the plastic off, peeling that off, and then any paint that got in the middle, he's scraping that off with the same paint scraper. That is rust. I mean, the worst thing ever. And he probably had maybe like, you know, a quarter of the project left. He had done all the rest of the windows. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get in there, and guess who's gonna get blamed for it?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. I used to work with a contractor though. It was funny. He used to say, and this was like the best contractor I ever worked with. He's like, if something scratches, just let me know. I replace it. It's as simple as that. Cause he knew, he's like, I need you to raise it everything. Like, I just need you to, it's like just what you were saying. I need you to do that. If something happens, just let me know. I just replace it.
That's
and
great.
It was like, he was like hands down the best. Yeah. So, but I just go back to like, it's just weird how much you see it these days. And you kind of think like, I don't know, like how other people look at it. Like before you ever clean windows, you know, you never pay attention to how like dirty windows are, but now you pay attention to it all the time.
Yeah.
Before you ever thought of like really scratching windows, did you pay attention to that much? But
get
off the topic of that a little bit.
No, that I completely agree.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of more questions here. Oh, let's see.
JP Ideas says for advertising solar cleaning, or JP said ideas for solar cleaning, or solar cleaning advertising. What's going on today?
Ideas for advertising solar panel cleaning.
Thank
you. You know, gosh, with solar panel cleaning, I don't know if I could really have the experience to say what would be the best way. Because in my area, I always just add it to a bid if I see solar panels. I think in areas like California, where I talk to a lot of people, where now it's almost, I think it's a law that any new home is being built with solar panels. It's becoming a thing. Yeah, it's becoming a thing. Like that's it. I think it's one of the things in Colorado too now, like a new homes are most of them being built with solar panels. I don't think it's like a law, but a lot of them are. So it's becoming a lot more apparent, or a lot more just homes getting it. And if people aren't getting them cleaned, their warranty can go out with them. So that's one thing I've heard only from a few people who have solar panels around here. But in marketing it, gosh, I mean, I don't know. I would think the same way in marketing anything else, and just getting it out there. And I think every door direct mail could even work well for solar panel cleaning.
Depending on the area. For sure. Yeah. If you're in it, if you want to figure out how to market anything, figure out the reason why people do it. Not even why people do it, but what happens if they don't do it. Because fear sells, right? So, I mean, good feelings are nice, but guess what? If you don't get it done, it could void your warranty. If you don't get it done, you're losing efficiency every single month. It gets dirtier and dirtier. And then eventually you'll have hard water and have to replace your shoulder. Those type of things are the reason people get it done. So you really want to look at that. But I'm same thing with you, where even if you're doing a house, or every house in the neighborhood has solar panels, it also has windows. So why only sell the solar panels? Sell the windows and upsell the solar panels.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I got sidetracked reading another question.
No worries. Prime 9237 says best size squeegee for residential. Your opinion?
14.
Ooh, that was good. You're already there.
I was there. I just think that is the best size for residential, though. I think most windows can be done with the 14. You can do large windows. Most kitchen windows or bathroom windows do a 14. You always need to have a 6 on you for residential for Frenchies, but a 14 you can do a lot with.
I know 18 is the most common, but I would battle to tell anybody from a 12 to an 18 how much faster an 18 is. People think it's like twice as fast, but I'm telling you it's not, if at all faster, depending on the pull. You can do almost anything with a 12 or 14 like you can an 18.
Yeah. Now, 18 storefronts gonna be faster.
Well, you got so much more glass at that point.
So much more. So yes, the prime question. Let's see here. Antonio Howell, when is the best time to start advertising? When is it?
Best time to advertise is when people want your service, which sounds super dumb. But if you advertise right now, it's like advertising a cheeseburger at 6 a.m. There's very few people. Jacob Williams, he'd want a cheeseburger at 6 a.m., but everybody else doesn't want one at 6 a.m. So why advertise to everybody? It's the same thing. Advertise, get everything ready so that when people start going crazy and like your phone starts ringing, you flip a switch and you advertise everything like crazy.
Like we see, I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but like I think what is it? March or April is probably the time where we see like the largest like every door direct mail purchases. Like in that time, like right before spring, like they're really starting to push it. So I mean, I always think too that this is what I've always said. I think people should advertise on every holiday. Like, why wouldn't you?
On the holiday or before the holiday?
No, before the holiday. So like December 1st, you could technically, or before the holidays, you could do an email out like beginning of November 1st. You could, get your windows clean before the holidays. Valentine's Day, you could do something kind of cheesy and corny, fun for that. You could do something along the lines of, well, start of spring is easy, but like even for like July 4th, we see a drop off of July 4th. Like, I don't know. That's what I've always said to people though. And I've always thought about, is that why wouldn't you do it? Like, why wouldn't? That would be great times to get extra work rather than waiting for spring and fall. Like, why just wait for those 2 times to do? That's probably gonna be the time you do your most, but why make that like the 2 times in the year you're doing it?
Yeah, it's when it's hot, it's hot. Like, it's the best time to advertise when it's hot, no matter what part of the year it is.
Yeah. Real quickly, somebody is talking about that Mormon gecko. Eugene asking,
what are your thoughts on that?
Huh?
What are your thoughts on the gecko? You like
Not
it?
a fan.
Yeah. Have you used it yet?
Yeah, I did use it. I used it today, and man, I'm gonna. I filmed a video about it, but I tell you what, the Techno Pad is just too good of a tool that it's cool what Mormon did with it, but it just missed it. It just completely it could have done so much more. And I have a video coming out about it where I really talk about a lot of things. And I think at the same time, this is their first product like that, where the Techno Pad, as simple as it is, has been out for a long time. So people have been able to, realize what all works with it to the point where it's like, it's a peak tool that a lot of people have. I mean, we see how many of them go out the door. I mean, almost probably every window cleaner has it if they've watched something on social media. I've seen in the last like 2 years since that video that I made, so many more people have it on their belt, where this tool is heavier. It's very, very proprietary. I think that's the main issue with it. That's all.
Yeah.
So it looks cool. Looks very, very cool. And I think there's people that will like it, but I don't think it will be as liked as the Techno Pad.
Yeah. Well, it's all personal preference. Try stuff. It's like, for a few bucks you can try it. So why not?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Where did I get off track here, man? Nick Stafford asked, website ? Thoughts ? I have one. Yeah. I don't know why you wouldn't have a website. I always view the website as like, and I'm sorry if there's some people on here that don't have a website, but if you're going to go all in, get a freaking website. Like, go all in. Like, why half-ass it? That's kind of how I assume with like having a website. I just don't know why these days, why you wouldn't have something that somebody can go back to get all your information, to contact you, to get a quote. I just think I don't understand why you wouldn't. And I think a lot of people look at it as a professional thing to have a website. So if you're going all in, this is your main thing, you should have a website. Mike doesn't have a website.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Website's like the best ROI. If you can SEO it right, it is the best money you'll make like forever as far as paid advertising. 100%.
Yeah.
It's really good. The other thing though too is if you're really advertising, that's another thing. Sometimes people who are like content where they're at don't have a website, and that's fine. You don't have to hit people on a mass scale. But if you don't, or you are trying to grow, then you got to get one. Yeah.
Levi S said SteveO advertises on Pride Month. Yeah,
hey,
got to get them all.
They're buying.
Why not, man? They're good customers, man. You want the windows clean.
FYI, Alex did not try hard enough, and he said #2clip. You're wrong. That's okay.
Yes. That's where, that's what it is. 2 clips every day. Squeegee Life asked a weird question. Why does Jersey look like a methed out Jimmy Neutron? What?
Ew. I don't know. Maybe my upbringing. You know, I live under some power lines. Other than that, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Oh man. Let's see. We got more questions here. Andy, what's your minimum for? Oh wow, that's a lot of question. Hard water, screen cleaning, and track cleaning. I don't think there's a okay. So that would all be like residential stuff. So I think in that, like if it was hard water, just hard water removal, I would almost say a minimum of at least $199. That's my minimum for residential too. But I think like $199 across the board, it could probably be a pretty good minimum for any residential services. And since everything in there is residential, there wouldn't be a minimum for screen cleaning and track cleaning, because if you're doing screens and tracks, you're doing windows too. So it's just a minimum of the whole entire thing.
Yeah, I have hard water. My minimum is like $25 a pane. Screen cleaning, my minimum is $3 a screen. And track cleaning, minimum is in deep cleaning is also $3 a track. That would be with a vacuum. Yeah. Just to give you a ballpark. But everybody's area is different. So.
Oh, yeah, exactly. John, what is your experience working for 7-Eleven? Gosh. Have you ever done a 7-Eleven?
I have not done an actual 7-Eleven. I've done a lot of C-stores, but I've never done a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I've done a lot of other gas stations too, but never ever a 7-Eleven. And I don't know if, sometimes I view someone like a business like that, and you kind of wonder if just sales are always so good and people will always go into a 7-Eleven. It's like a McDonald's. People always go into McDonald's. People always, and these are the places that are super hard to get. And I kind of wonder if it's just like, why would we, we want to have our stores look good. We'll have our employees Windex them down, but that's about as much as we want because we know customers always come back. Might be lazy, like maybe a franchise or a private owner would want it, but I mean, that's what I almost think with stuff like that.
It's like outside splash and dash, just enough to get the fingerprints. That's all you're doing is cleaning fingerprints off doors, but like every window on the inside is going to be covered with like pallets of stuff and signs and neons. And like, I just never, ever offer inside window cleaning on C-stores.
Now, what are C-stores? Just that's a gas station?
Convenience stores. Yeah, like gas station.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Classifying it in your little special C's.
It's just fancy terms. Yeah. That's what we call them.
Let's see here. I don't know where this question came from.
TJ.
What?
By the way, a buddy had gotten boxing gloves, and I was putting them on, and I was like, all right. And he hit me before I was ready, and I just never got my nose fixed. So that's why it's crooked. So
is this the truth?
That's the truth, yeah. We were like going to be boxing in the yard, and as I was putting him on, he like hit me one, just kind of playing around and just and it was like super smash. And I was like, and then I was with a bunch of buddies. I'm like, I don't need to get it fixed. Well, apparently that means then you can't breathe the rest of your life. So.
Oh man. I'd be pissed. I'd be super pissed.
I know.
Dang. So, I mean, you just never got it cracked back into place?
Never got it cracked. Like my septum is so deep, like just crushed that like I don't breathe out of one side. Actually, the last time I was at the dentist, he had to take x-rays, and he called all the nurses in to see my x-ray because it's so bad.
Oh,
he's like, dude, do you know you have a deviated septum? I'm like, yeah, I kind of knew that.
Yeah. All right. Dang, man, that sucks. Let's see here. I don't know who asked this, but it said JPWFP ? The insertable filters in my DI tank keep moving towards the middle. How do I stop this? Can I get a new one of those little filter O's Xero Pure?
The DI tank keeps moving towards the middle?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Just hit up one of us after this, and we can help you out with that.
Yeah. Or if you're in the comments still, just kind of reiterate the question.
Yeah.
By the way, no, I lost the guy's name. Little's pressure washing is looking at getting pure water. So congrats on that, dude. That's freaking huge, man. You'll really, really, really enjoy pure water. If you also need help on that, let us know. We can definitely help.
Yes. Serious question from El Mazda 777. How would you all charge a car dealership? I charge car dealerships in pretty much the same way that I charge for route work. And that usually I would say that most dealership windows can be pretty large, as in big enough that you have to clean the top and then finish off the bottom by hand. Those kind of windows I would charge two, but as in two panes. But usually with like those kind of jobs, I'll do anywhere between $3 to $4 per pane for inside and out, because also it can be a competitive market, I guess you could say, of other companies coming around. Like, I don't think you could go to $6 or $7 like for each pane and then make that pane $12. Yeah. So that's what I like to do. I always bid the partitions inside. And then also what I like to get dealerships on is every single month outside only every 4 weeks, and then every 3 months inside and out, or every other month inside and out. Always try to get all their garage doors. Always do their service centers. I mean, there's so much glass that people use that dealerships want that people actually usually don't think about. Like even in the service center, the partition glass that looks into like them servicing the vehicles, bid that. Dealerships are usually places that always want to look super, super clean. So if you can get them on a really good schedule, try for that, because that is going to also probably make their sales better. So that's why, like, I've done a lot of dealerships in my day. If anything, I've probably spent more of my life cleaning windows at dealerships. So I feel super, super comfortable with them. But they can be some of your, I think, because of how much glass, some of your highest hourly output and that kind of work. I mean, I can't think of a time where it was under 150 to 140 an hour, even with another person, and getting done with it that quick.
They're cheap, but what's really interesting is you can do a ton of stuff there with working the price right. So like inside upper windows, you don't have to do those, but like once a year. So you don't bid those. So ground level, you do more, like you can bid it so that it really does look better.
Yeah. But go for dealerships. I mean, dealerships can be just prime. And one good thing about dealerships is you're also most likely going to get the owner of the dealership's home. You're going to get anybody
watching you clean. There's great exposure.
Yeah. And usually some of these dealerships, people have money. Dealerships are great. Like I always forget about them, but man, they can be such good revenue. Really, really good revenue.
Here's something I was going to show you from before I was trying to find that out. That's my X-ray. There's my nose at the top of the screen.
Oh, so this side, holy crap.
There's one side that works and one side that doesn't. See,
that one side is just totally like there's not even
all the way down. Yeah. That's why I always have a booger in the side. Just,
I remember you saying that.
Sorry. I had to show you that. That was for you, Jacob, so you could see my nose.
Dang though, man. I'd be pissed.
You know what sucks, by the way? I went through the 2008 collapse with auto dealers, and it gave me such a bad taste because there was a point where I think I lost. I've told the story, but I want to say it was like 5 or 6 dealers in 1 week.
Yeah.
And dealers were like hundreds of dollars. And it was just like, they're all like called each other. And within like, it felt like 15 minutes, they all canceled at one time. It was like nuts.
It's one of the jobs that irks me the most. And this was now 4 years ago that when Jim and I lost this job, and it was a huge account. And to this day, we'll talk about it and we have no clue how we lost it, but it was at least every month. I would say on the best months, it was around $5,000 and for 2 days of work. And then on the least months, it was at least like $2,000 for like 1 day of work. Ugh. And we all of a sudden one day just got an email that they were putting us on like a 60-day, I can't think of the word, but like, we don't need your services. We'll let you know like in 60 days. And it was just cut off. No phone call, nothing. They don't have to, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that was one of the things that irked me the most. And like what you talk about with dealerships could literally leave you in like an instant, because here's what I found, especially if they're family owned and someone they know goes into it, boom, here's my dealership, clean it. That person may not know a freaking thing about how to clean that dealership or how to clean something that large, but they're like, hey, just go. And we've lost it for that.
Yes. And because they feel like idiots, they don't hire you back. They go call some random new person.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, yeah.
Yeah.
That one irks me so bad. Every time I drive by it, I always look to see if I see the window cleaner. I just kind of want to go talk to them. Like I have an idea of who it is. And then I sometimes wonder, because I showed this dealership on like videos, I always wonder, like, did someone go in just to like get me in the side? Like, oh, I'm going to steal something from them. I don't know.
Could have been.
Me.
By the way, Simply Clean just asked, is WCR dropping the Xero Pure and Xero Pure X2, and will the parts be available? So yes and no. The Xero Pure Revolution and Xero Pure Revolution Max are the new versions of those. So yes, those are going out. The Revolution is the new version of that system. We will still have parts for everything, but the Revolution is what is the newest version.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, pretty exciting. The triple revolution is insane. That is insane. Let's get back to some questions though. Yeah. Tips for construction cleaning low E windows. Actually, this is a good topic. Paint, overspray, drywall, the whole shebang. Razors are going to be best. What's really funny to me is how many people talk about low E and how low E is actually in between the paints. Yeah. Like it's not.
No, Steve, I can feel it.
Yeah. Well, there is times, but when you feel that's a mistake, and you just have to explain that to the customer. Like I've only had one home my whole entire life where low E was on the inside and outside of every pane. When you encounter that, it's extremely rare. And in my 14 years, it's happened one time, and I've cleaned a lot of homes. So most of the time when you see that low E sticker, the only thing you really have to pay attention to is just the sound of your scraper when scraping something. And that's pretty, in my mind, that's pretty much it.
It's like when people say that tempered glass is softer than standard glass. Like it's an argument that you just can't even have, because literally the word tempering means making it harder. Like it just doesn't make much sense. So
yeah.
You know what I did get in an argument with today? The guy's not here, so it's fine. I got in a large argument with somebody who he says that he's washing cars off, which, okay, still, I guess. The water's 0 TDS, but his cars are spotting. It's not from the water. I had to explain. We had this 30-minute conversation going back and forth and how I'm scamming him about that. And I'm like, but you told me the water is 0. Even if you lied, then that means your resin would have been expended, but you already proved that. Like did I show you that my example? I said, like, I was going back and forth 50 times. I was like, listen, if you went to the zoo and the zoo had 0 tigers and you got attacked by a tiger, it's not at the zoo. Somebody brought a tiger in. Like, I don't know what to say anymore, man. Like, dude, it was a Monday.
You know, I clean my car with like a DI. I think it puts out like 3 gallons per minute, and I'm at zeros, and I always get spotting, because if you think about a car, and I'm not a pro in cleaning cars at all, there's so many little cavities that could have dirt in it that after they're drying could drip out. And this is why I am so big on like people cleaning frames when using water fed pulp, because one of the biggest things that beat up and run on the window is dirt from the frames. And that's how I always explain, like, my technique for that is like, think about washing a car. Like if you didn't get every little crevice and you rinse that thing off, there is a possibility of spotting. Like there's is, you know?
Yeah.
That's hard. That's frustrating. Let's see.
Prime New 9237 has got questions today. I love it. Preferred winter and summer sleeves. Do you switch in season, summer and winter?
I do not. I just change up my dip. I dip in the water, as far as, you know, you just don't need as much. Yeah, exactly. You just don't need as much water, so your sleeve lasts longer. For me, Ettore Pro Plus microfiber sleeve is my just number one sleeve. It's always been my go-to that I use year round. So yeah, I don't change my sleeves at all.
Greatest answer to that question by Robert Stewart, who has won the internet for today. He said, long sleeves in the winter, short sleeves in the summer.
All right. That's good. Let's see here. What else we got?
How about El Maza 777? How much would y'all pay average to a helper, hourly or for the day? And this is a great question for all of you who are watching right now. All 560 of you watching, comment, how much do you pay for a helper? Do you pay hourly, and what is it? Or do you pay by the day, and what is it? Yeah. And I want to know, Steve, I want to know from you, if you were to have somebody right now as a helper, what would you pay them?
I would pay them $15 an hour for the first 2 weeks. And if I deemed that they were a good helper, I would move them to 18 after that. And then after a 90-day period, deciding on whether or not how good they've been doing, I would move them to 20. After that, it would be pretty long until I move them to any upper tier, depending on how much work they want to take on or how much responsibility.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah, I'm always hourly because I don't pay a day rate, because sometimes people just don't want to be there all day. Sometimes people want to go when they go, and I think it's the fairest way for everybody. I don't lose if they're there for a long time. They don't lose if I have to make them stand around while they're waiting for somebody else. Like, it just makes sense. I always pay people as soon as they get there too. Like, I'm not that guy like, well, you get here at 8:30, but you don't punch in till 9. Just like, dude, you're here, make money. Like, who cares?
Right. So, but you never did a thing where like once you guys left in the trucks or once you got the first job, like that's when your time starts?
Nope. So as soon as they walked in the door, the first thing they did when they came in our office, we had a tunnel and an alley. The tunnels for people, alleys for cars. They'd come in, sign their time cards just right away, just saying that they're there. And then they go out and start getting the trucks ready. Because I feel like if you are here getting the trucks ready or doing something, you could do anything else for free. Like, why would you come and work for me for nothing? So right. Make it while you can.
Yeah. I think a day wage would be hard too for window cleaning to agree on, because due to that, window cleaning is really based on with employees, like how much is their output of work. And that's what you can decide on. I've never had a day rate, right? I've always either worked off commission or done the hourly. And to many people that I've had either work commission at other window cleaning places, they've always liked the hourly more or have made more hourly. And also it allows, a window cleaner to take their time a little bit more. That was always the weird thing that I always had with employees, and that I could never even get them sometimes on hourly to understand, like, why are you rushing to get home? Like, we are working from 8 to 4. There's no reason to rush this job, because then you're just going home earlier. Because I have this day planned out for a long time. Like, I always had the biggest issue with that. And I never understood, why wouldn't you want to work your 40 hours a week? Like, why would you want to cut that down to 35 and then complain to me when you get your paycheck that you didn't make enough? Yeah. That never made sense.
I do like that. The guys who always, like, we always give priority to guys. Like, when rain happens, like, we could sit around if you guys want. I'm not going to pay you to sit around on a rain day, but if like somebody wants to wait, because some people are like, dude, the rain's going to stop soon. We'll wait around. It'll be like an hour or two. We'll just shoot the poo for a while or whatever. Guys will play ping pong or whatever. Yeah. And then some guys are like, no, it's raining, I'm done for the day. And they'll just leave. And it's like, all right. And then it'll be like, dude, I need to do something else, man. I'm not making enough money. Yeah, because you keep leaving here. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
So frustrating. Was there a good question by Robert Stewart?
Yeah. How many times have you found that when you get a helper, you're training your competitor? And I've hired and fired 6 competitors of mine. And out of those 6 competitors, there is 1 that I know still exists.
Wow.
He may be in here now, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I have not met many people that have continued on and done well, like in the same way that you're kind of saying. I have not. And it's more that they thought that it was all about the cleaning of the glass and didn't ever really take notice of all the other things that were going on. And that was the simplest explanation I could give for it.
Here is the most amazing thing that, like, everybody in this group, like, every one of you who is successful, and successful just means you have customers. But the reason you have customers is because you're good at business. Like, the thing you do is window cleaning, but you run a business. You just happen to do window cleaning. You could be in lawn care or something else. It's the business side. Well, it's the same thing when a restaurant goes under. All the kitchen staff and the waitresses, they all pool their money together and buy the place, and then 3 months later it goes out. It's because they could make the food and they could serve the food, but they don't know business. Business exists. You have a business because you run a business. You just happen to be cleaning your windows as your business.
Yeah. Best business ever. This is really cool. Mike Thomas commented, set up a weekly bonus program that is paid at the end of the year. We do $50 a week, but it is paid right before Christmas. Retains employees through the year.
Nice.
That's pretty sweet. That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I was actually talking with a company who was having some retention issues, and they ended up doing a holding program. So all bonuses, and I think it was like $50 a check for anybody who wanted it. They could do holds, meaning that it was still their money. They would hold it, and then they would allocate it out during the off time so that they were making money during the winter. And it was just because some people are so bad with money that it helps them have that batch. If they get it all in one check, it's spent before the next check. But if you allocate it and put it out, it's like the people who win the lottery and they choose the 30-year payout. It's because they know they're going to spend all of it if they get it.
Yeah. That's a great idea, though. I never got anything like that.
Right? It would be nice, though. I've had people who have done programs. I've done programs like that for people, and it was literally just taking some money out and then just paying them when they wanted it. And then I had one guy who did the whole thing, and then when winter came, he took all of it in like the first like week. He's like, no, I just want all of that. I just want all that money. Like, so I gave it all to him, and then he was just like totally broke all winter.
I was laughing at just Jacob's comment. I'll never be an AWC mag. I'm just a liability. All the subscriptions have stopped, man. This is
saying. Just saying.
Let's see here. Another good question.
By the way,
yeah.
I would like to know before you're talking, who's going to be at IWCA, just because I will be there on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Is this next week?
That's next week.
Oh, man, I'm going to be there too.
Are you? Week from Tuesday. We'll see you. See you.
You know, I want to go some year just to watch the speed competition. I will never be a part of it. I think it's weird, but I do want to go watch it because I think that would be pretty fun just to see a bunch of window cleaners having fun with that. That would be it. That would be a good time.
Back in the day when there was like people from Italy and stuff, like crews would show up, like people who train all year to do it. And I was like, gosh. Whoa, it's kind of impressive.
Dang. Purgy asks, when are you headed to California, SteveO? Don't front. Gosh, I don't know when I'm heading to California. Yeah, probably not anytime soon. I've been going to watch.
I leave Tuesday, so when I get back, you can go to California.
All right, there you go. Sounds
Can't
good.
leave while I'm gone. You have to cover things.
So wait, no, you don't leave this week. You leave next week.
Week from Tuesday. Yeah. I got a week.
Man, I think that'll be a lot of fun. Real quick, I want to answer Cyrus Walker. You've asked this a couple times. Can you explain a good versatile squeegee setup and size? If you ask me, I use a modification that a lot of people use in this group as well. Mormon 2.0 handle with Ettore brass. They're not meant to go together, but I do have a lot of videos about it, and it is sold on windowcleaner.com as the ultimate squeegee. And why I say it's the most versatile is because it's great in hand and great on a pole. Or literally after getting, accustomed or like knowing how to use the squeegee, I was able to kind of throw out a lot of my other stuff like ledgers, different stuff like that, just due to how many possibilities you have. So if you're going to ask me, that's what I would say to use as far as a very versatile, good squeegee for pole work and hand work. What would you say? I
have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Because somebody asked me today and I did not use it enough, but the Luke the Window Cleaner channel, how different is that from the Ettore Super channel?
Different as in that
a lot more rubber in the Super channel hangs out.
Yeah,
but is that the only real difference that you saw, like actually using it?
That and then the corners on the Super channel are more rounded, where the corners on the Luke the Window Cleaner channel are just more square. Luke the Window Cleaner channel is nice, especially with like a round rubber. It's very, very similar to if you took the side plugs off of a Unger Ninja. It's almost very, very similar to that.
Yeah.
That
I just, the only time I've used it was like on a window, but like a couple, like I never used it, like I just didn't know if it was going to be like a thing or how much different it really was. So.
Did you see this comment from Alex Tries? I think Alex was the one many months ago that you told to up his minimum. And yes. now he's booked. Look at that.
Jay, now he's considering it to go into 225. I'm so happy.
So simple. Craig asked, why is it the LWC is out of stock? That's the Luke Window Cleaner channel. As far as I know, it will not be produced anymore. So they're always, the thing is though, is that like Chris and Alex at WCR always do their best though to try to figure out how though. So right now it's not. That's probably why it's sold out. I can't speak to 100% that's the reason, but I 100% know that if they're too involved in it, they are trying to figure out a reason. Like they try to figure out ways for any of this stuff to be available for you guys. Like the amount of work that they put in, amount of work just WCR puts in is crazy as far as just getting little touches like that to make sure that you guys can use them. So maybe not around right now, but hopefully soon again. And I believe what they're in like 14, 18, 22. I mean, very popular and well-loved channel.
They were. You know what's crazy? It was so minor of a difference. I feel like it didn't have its place. I feel like that's why it didn't really do, because it was like the different, even though the differences made a lot of sense, they were just so little and so comparable that it didn't have like its boom place, you know?
You know what I think would have been so cool that would have really made it work was like, you know how
if you say a SteveO channel, I swear to I will end this thing right now.
Like, you know how Ettore engraves all of their channels. It's not like a sticker. Like that Ettore stamp is never coming off of that channel. It'd have been really cool if Luke had not a stamp like a sticker, but an actual like engravement of his logo with like LTWC. I think because of that, people would have not only just bought it to use it, but bought it to be something like the Unger carbon fiber things that we can never get over here. You know, that Europe always gets, like that kind of stuff people put on their walls that are, you know, love looking at all this stuff. So I think that would have just really taken it off.
By the way, between you and I, everybody who's watching, don't listen. I live in a town that is like primarily like racing, right? And we have a carbon company here that makes carbon fiber, but like carbon fiber parts, because it's a racing town. But I almost want to go there and be like, how much would it cost to make like, I want to tell you a bunch of different window cleaning stuff. Just clone this stuff. How much would it? Because for them, they'd be like, this is super easy. We're used to building entire cars, you know?
Yeah.
I think there could be a market with everything in premium the way it is. I think carbon fiber could be the next.
Carbon fiber handles, just that lightness. I don't know why.
Carbon fiber handles, you could do carbon fiber channels because they're so thick, they would actually hold up. There'd actually be a little bit of flex so that it could contour to the glass a little bit better. All right. Now everybody else, you can listen again. But
all right, we're back. Okay. Oh, sorry, Cyrus. What size of channel is most versatile? 14 for residential, 18 for commercial. That's how I would do it. Yep. There was a good question here from KD. Hey, Jersey or SteveO. So WCR doesn't carry Triumph scraper blades anymore. Jersey, you mentioned that the Unger scraper's blades will fit with the Triumph scraper holders.
Yeah, absolutely. Triumph just isn't. It's just not something that the weird logistics of Triumph is really kind of really freaking weird. And they have a good name, but everything else is good. Unger, almost every blade will fit in every handle. They use the same kind of, unless it actually says flexi. I think that's the only one it won't fit is the 6-inch flexi. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, you're talking about with Unger?
Yeah. Everything else really works pretty well. So
Unger stainless steel blades, Unger Ergotech stainless steel blades, or Unger Ergotech carbon blades will fit Triumph.
Yep. Ettore will fit Triumph.
Yeah. There was a good question here from Vegas Collectors. As an employee, I'm all for getting the work done right, but also fast. If you as the owner are willing to pay for 8 hours of work, if the work is done right, but also done in 6 hours, pay the full 8, right? Oh shit.
I pay for it to be done. Like I'm so busy, was so busy that if I had it done in 6 hours, I'm going to fill the other 2 hours with other stuff.
Yeah.
Like exactly. I'm going to be, if these guys are getting, if I'm consistently bidding properly and I'm bidding it at 8 hours, but they're getting it done at 6 hours, I'm going to bonus the crap out of them because I want them to make more money if I make more money, but I also want it done right. But I also am going to take my float board and fill it back up to 8.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's always going to happen. It's never, what is it? I've never worked at, I had a friend that used to work just automobiles and used to fix them. And they would have, were like, this project should take you 12 hours. But if you complete it, in 6, you got paid for the 12. It's just not the same. Yeah. It's not the same with window cleaning.
Because it's a person bidding. Like if you're bidding going, I think it'll take 8 hours and it takes you 6 hours. Did you bid it wrong or did they work fast? Like if they're working fast, awesome. You're going to pay them a ton of money anyway because they're super valuable. But
yeah. Well, that is the end of such a lame ending. This is the ending of the show. This is it. We're going to go.
SteveO's ending's terrible, just like his intro. So I will end it for everybody. I do want to say thanks for watching and listening. If you're here, this is SteveO's YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe because that still is a thing.
Yeah, like the video if you guys all liked what you saw here tonight, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks, and then and then #2 clips, and that's it.
Yeah, by the way, I know that TJ calls us WCR shills, I believe he calls it, but do genuinely appreciate you guys when you thumbs up us and support us. We're reps for windowcleaner.com, so give SteveO a call me, whatever. Also subscribe to American Window Cleaner Magazine because it's the most awesome magazine for window cleaners.
Yes.
American Window Cleaner Magazine. And if you haven't yet, please check out our friend TJ's podcast, which is coming out on Thursdays. It's absolutely amazing. Check it out. He is absolutely one of the most genuinely nice people I've ever met in my entire life. So go see his stuff.
TJ, when are you coming back date-wise? If you can put it in the comments before we go. When are you coming back? They always take a holiday break for a little bit, but I'm sure it's just a clown face. So we're not sure, but it will be I bet you sometime in January.
He'll write it in the comments. It's just the leg is all that will be there. So
okay.
You'll see it soon enough.
That's true. All righty, y'all. Well, beginning of the year, have fun, and we'll see you soon. Peace.